You've heard that old movie line, show me the money. Well, in real estate, it's show me the money lender.
Hey, it's Greg Powers with Keller Williams Metropolitan, and this is Real Estate Smarts in roughly under 3 minutes.
Unless a buyer is paying cash, one of the most important pieces of a real estate transaction is who is providing the financing. And that's because if the money doesn't get there on closing day, you may be packed up and have all your belongings on a truck ready to go, and if that money doesn't come through, what do? Now, of course, there are a variety of lenders that a buyer can choose from. Some of them you'll know because you've seen their Super Bowl ads, the big online lenders. There are also big national banks, which can be great at credit cards and checking accounts, but maybe not so much at mortgages. And then you have local lenders. That may be a local credit union or a mortgage broker. And if you talk to any experienced real estate agent, 9 times out of 10, they are going to recommend you go with the latter, a reputable local lender. And there's a good reason for that. If you're dealing with one of the big online companies or a national bank, your loan officer may be in Poughkeepsie and your underwriting department may be in Phoenix, and you have time zones to deal with. And in my experience, the people you're dealing with sometimes get promoted, and you bring in a new loan officer who really doesn't know what's going on. With a local lender, generally any problems that come up are easier to solve. They tend to do a better job of pre-qualifying buyers. And usually your real estate agent will have had multiple transactions with a local lender and have a pretty good rapport with them, which makes the transaction much easier. Now, if you're a buyer, obviously, you probably want to shop around and get the best rates. Very tempting, but quite honestly, the ability to get you to the closing table is going to be more important than a fractional percentage difference in rates. Now, just as an example, I have had 3 transactions with a pretty well-known lender that, let's say, they can promise you to get you to the moon. Well, one of those went really smoothly. The other one was a little dicey, and the last one almost fell apart at the closing table, right before the closing, and that buyer ended up switching to a cash transaction because they were so disgusted with the company. A .333 batting average in baseball might get you to the Hall of Fame, but in real estate, it's the kiss of death. That's just not good enough for my clients. Now, whether you as a buyer decide to take my advice and work with a local lender, what you need to know is that on the listing side, an experienced agent is going to be discussing that with their sellers. And if you bring an offer to one of my listings that's financed by a questionable company, I'm either going to recommend that my sellers reject it or that they counteroffer and ask you to get pre-approved with a local lender. So you might as well start with the best rather than finding yourself in a competitive situation and starting out at a serious disadvantage like that. So before you start shopping around for a mortgage lender, talk to a real estate agent. They can steer you in the right direction and make sure that you start out on the best possible foot as a buyer. And if you're a seller, make sure you have that discussion with your agent. They should be able to guide you and help you make the right decision. Thanks for listening, and as always, feel free to share this with anyone you think might be interested, and feel free to visit my blog and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and want to see more. Thanks so much.